got a very special guest, the North Melbourne coach, heading to the finals. Congratulations, well done. Nice to get through the game. Good to play some young kids, and it's all about finals now.
Yeah, it is. It was. It's been a good effort to qualify in sixth and 14 wins for the year. So now the real season starts, and we think we're really well prepared to go into a final series in good condition and really resilient and ready to play in the September heat.
The D's were pretty good early. They didn't allow you to get a bit of flow into the game, but the second half you changed a few things. You kicked 11 goals and you got yourself going. So that's very pleasing. And on top of that, you rested a few players, getting them ready for next week.
Yeah, look, I think at this time of year you're trying to get your squad in the best possible shape you can. And look, we've had some challenges throughout the year getting our best side out there, but that's enabled us to unearth players like Kane Turner on screen there, and Mason Wood last night played well as well. So, where we've missed a few throughout the year, we've been able to find a few as well.
Jack Zubel up forwards last couple of weeks have been really good. Is it tempting at times to leave him down there for the full game, or would you love him to have bits and pieces through the middle because he's such a good extractor as well?
Yeah, I think you can do both, and it depends on your mix in your side and depending who else you've got available. I mean, Cunnington and Zubel have been very good junior forwards as well as midfielders, but the absence of Daniel Wells throughout the year has made it hard for us to do that. But now with Wellsy back and some flexibility in our midfield, we can do that.
It was a good win, but obviously we're just looking ahead to next week. Didn't stop you though from blowing your fuse at three-quarter time, which we showed before. We might skip ahead and have a look at that. What happened there with the medical officers and the medical staff at three-quarter time? And was it fair enough, your reaction, or do you, in the cool light of day, do you regret it?
Oh no, I don't regret it. I mean, we play a professional game, and I demand a lot from the players and a lot from the staff as well. And it was a pretty unusual situation in that we're probably always going to make our sub at half time. And we had Dal Santo as a sub to bring him on and play a half. And when they wanted to check Adams for a concussion, they wanted to activate the concussion sub, which I wasn't sure whether that was one of the coaching staff or not, but we'd already activated our sub. So that's something that we'll learn from and get that right, because there was 5 minutes of confusion there, which shouldn't have happened.
And you're more worried, I guess, into next week that you've got to have everything right and on the sidelines and ready to go.
Everything's got to be spot on. I mean, everyone's got to be sharp and aware of everything that can go wrong and have every contingency in place. So I've got no issue with having everyone a bit on edge.
I just want to ask you about this week's final. Big game on Saturday night against the Bombers. Can you take anything from the last time you played them, which was a belting in round one, or because it was so long ago, it's just irrelevant?
Oh no, I don't think it's irrelevant. I think we'll have a look at it, obviously, and do our due diligence there. But I think they'll probably be looking at us the last month or so, and us the same a bit with them. But we'd be silly not to look at the last time. We played really poorly. They played really well. So we've got to make sure we turn the tables on that result.
You don't like each other too, which is always a good match-up, isn't it?
Well, I think the fans probably don't like each other too much. I mean, we've got enormous respect for Essendon as a footy club, and I said post-game that we've got a lot of admiration for the way their players have held themselves this year through difficult circumstances, because often off-field issues can seep onto on-field. So I've got a lot of admiration for their playing group.
4 changes, Scotty. Let me go through them here. Let's have a little team selection here, okay? Goldstein's been your best ruckman for the year. He comes in.
You would think so.
Righto, tick. Greenwood, Levi's been probably one of your better players for the year. He comes in.
Yeah, he's certainly in the mix.
Righto. Frido's been very, very, very good, actually, down back, so he might get a run. Tick.
Yeah, well, Spud's rejuvenated his career and he's in our best side.
And Luke McDonald didn't play yesterday.
Yep.
So he gets a game.
First-year player who's played every game bar one through illness, so he's fresh and available for selection.
Righto, who are we going to drop?
You're going to have to make some very hard calls next week.
Because
Turner and Wood have put pressure on.
Yep, it's fantastic. I mean, we've had the opposite problem throughout the year, trying to find players, and in that process, Kane Turner's bobbed up, Mason Wood's bobbed up. We've got a really tough match committee, which is the best kind of problem to have.
And I like Ben Brown. He just looks like he really wants to be out there. He's prepared to just work, and you're going to have to consider whether or not you take him moving forward. But what about, I suppose, jumping away from the finals, what about Jared Waite? Is he someone that you could certainly fit into that forward line going forward?
Now, look, Croft, it's really, I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with everyone about that. But in fairness to our playing group, in fairness to players at other clubs and and respecting other clubs' recruiting staff. You know, we just take the policies at club that we don't talk about opposition players. You know, it's not fair in our playing group, and it's not fair on other clubs either.
Hey,
But you did meet him. You thought that was appropriate?
Yeah, again, Hutchie. It was a good effort.
Lindsay Thomas, there's another one.
What about him?
He
Coming
comes
into
in.
the side?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay's had another good year, so
that's
he's
five.
a chance.
And the other one you'd love to have in your side is Boomer Harvey, obviously, who's got one more week of
No, he
suspension.
won't
He
come
won't
back.
be playing. But did you actually have to counsel him and hit him between the eyeballs on that and his actions there?
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. And it's the disappointing thing from Brent's perspective is it's not the first time I've had to do that. So, but he's a really proud competitor. He feels like he's let the team down, and he's just desperate for us to get the job done next week so he can play again.
And the great thing about that is you used to be the one who was tagging and trying to get the players to get off their game. So if anyone knows what's going through a run with tagging type player's head, it would be you.
Yeah, well, I think when you can get your opponent to react to you, you've won the mini battle. So, you know, that's something he's had to deal with for 380 games, and for the most part, he's done it well. But he has let himself down on a couple of occasions.
A lot of opinions about your footy club. What's yours? Are you a contender?
Well, we've qualified sixth, so that would say that there are 5 sides who are better than us at the moment. So, you know, we're going to have to improve to compete against them. So, I think sixth is about, you know, we finished there for a reason.
So is one finals win a good season for you from here?
Oh, I think that's probably a loser's mentality. I mean, we're going in to win every game we play, so we won't be comfortable, you know, just winning one final or being competitive. You know, we want to win every game we play. So, you know, that's our attitude. It's for everyone else to judge as to how successful our season's been.
How many blokes are allowed to kick out, Scotty? Anyone that gets the ball?
Most, yeah. Yep.
Fish mullet?
Yeah, he's usually very, very good and composed, isn't he? So,
He usually is. Have a look at him. You're not sure where to go. And then just gets pigged. Oh,
yeah, no, he's good. He made about 7 decisions there, so he's a very quick decision maker. So, you know, that's very rare. And you know, we you know, a good player like Aaron, I mean, that's just, we can all laugh at it now. I wasn't laughing at the time, but he won't do that again.
No. We're going to have a look at the votes. Atlee got some votes. A lot of North Melbourne players here. Swallow, Turner. I just like the way he goes about it. Brings a lot to the North Melbourne side. And Dom Tyson, who's had a very good year, kicked a couple of goals and was really important and a wonderful user for Melbourne throughout the season. So well done to him, and he'll go on to have a bigger year next year, no doubt.
Hey, Brad, one last one. The coaching over the last 3 or 4 weeks, have you made a clear decision to send a midfielder forward just to add a new dimension to your setup? Because it's really worked well. Or
Yeah, it's been something that we've, as I alluded to earlier, that we've wanted to do throughout the year, because we know we've got players who can play that role really well, midfield and forward. But you know, it's probably been the addition of Wells that adds another player to our midfield mix that enables us to do that. So, you know, we think potentially that's a bit of a weapon. But again, Cunnington and Zeeble in particular, they're inside midfielders who can go forward, not the other way around.
One last one, Jared Waite. No, we've got the prizes here for you, Scotty. Here we go. Oh, he's
Well done. And don't forget too, who knows, the Kangaroos might make it on Grand Final day. Regardless, the Grand Final will be huge. Don't miss out on your seat to the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast, the 48th Blackwoods North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast. nmfc.com.au. Support the Kangaroos. But not only that, give yourself a ripping day at the biggest institution in town, the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast.
Brayshaw up there. Big
James will be there and on time for the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast. A break, Port Adelaide and Fremantle still to come on the Sunday Footy Show.